I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
We are Geeking Out, and this is the true, unabridged, absolutely, completely non-made-up story about how Spike gets the sniffles and it decides to turn pro. How y'all doing? Missed another week, but yes, it's been another wonderful flu-filled week at the
flu.
At the Who What Where Studios. We're still trying to figure all of this stuff out. Apparently, I've got the new boom mic for those of you, AV nerds who are trying to figure out how we're doing this for under, 25 cents a week. Got the new boom mic, but I don't know whether it works yet, and now I need to get a USB cable that's longer than 3 feet long so I can keep streaming this thing. So, there you go. And it's going to be an adventuresome week this week because, well, you've got a big pile of cards from the last 2 weeks, and Chris has not seen this, but I've seen it. Not really? Well, on you then. This past Friday, Roku released its biggest release yet. Weird, the YANKOVIC story, their first big mainstream movie that's getting mainstream attention. I've seen it. I'll give you the review here in a minute. Chris says he doesn't have a whole lot to do with his cards, but we'll see what happens. Before we begin with the geeking, though, it's going to be a busy little week for us because this week we're filming Geeking Out. It is trying to remember. It is Sunday, November 6, 2022. We've got an episode of Backrack Video where Chris is going to try to give you the history of Hollywood special effects in 20 minutes. That will end well. And then, on top of that, we have a Chore of Duty coming up. Yes, finally. A Chore of Duty where I'm going to explain the other constitutional amendment on Kentucky's ballot this week. If you have not already done your early voting, this will be your chance to understand what this big, long, huge, tall drink of water on the ballot really means, because Amendment 2 about the abortion thing is about that long. Amendment 1 is about that long. And I'll explain the difference here. That will be coming up later this week. Actually, the Chore of Duty will probably hit the podcast and videos first because it is so time sensitive, but we will have all 3 out. And then this next weekend, Christopher, something comes out this next weekend. What's the big movie for this weekend?
Black Panther!
So we will be attempting another live stream. It will be Aftermath 2, Black Panther 2, Fan 0. So, having said that, the live stream we're going to try to live stream to Chris's Facebook Movie Geek group. But I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Film Geek. It's Movie Geek group.
Even though Film Geek does kind of ruined.
So, but that is a private group. If you want to get the live stream on Facebook, you need to get in touch with Chris over on Facebook and get the invite so you can get in there. No spamming, please. And if you don't want that, we are going to attempt our first YouTube live stream at the same time. This will be, I'm guessing, Saturday. Is that the 12th? Yes. Yeah, it's Saturday the 12th, probably about 3:45, because I think this thing is 2.5 hours long. Yeah, it's going to be, I saw 160 minutes for Black Panther 2. Oh, Lord. I really will need the large soda and popcorn to get through this one, because I'm going to need to tinkle at some point. And I do not leave the movie.
Did you just say tinkle?
Tinkle.
Yes, the
tinkle. Piddle. I'm going to piddle in the movie.
He's going to piddle everywhere. Piddle.
Better than all that crap that's going to be on the screen. So, and one more update. We've just updated our YouTube channel. You can now find us on YouTube if you haven't seen it on the screen at some point yet. You can now find us at youtube.com/@whowhatwhere. That's our YouTube just rolled out something called Handles. So now if you want the entire Who What Where library, you can go to youtube.com/@whowhatwhere, WHOWOTWARE, it should still be on the bottom. Go there and you can get the entire YouTube library. We'll see how long that lasts, because I'll also tell you right now, the Chore of Duty probably, this tour of duty might turn up on the YouTube and Facebook channels, but next week's probably will not. Because I will be talking about something that had really YouTube and Facebook just don't want on their precious little platforms. But we'll talk about that next week. So, how's it going, Chris? How's it hanging? Is it hanging low? Is it hanging wide? Is it swinging from side to side? How is it?
Like a pendulum.
Like a pendulum.
Yeah.
Swinging from right to left.
Yes.
The Wycliffe. Yeah.
What's up?
Sa-sa. Do you have anything you want to do before I start talking about Weird, the Al Yankovic story?
You want to do the news first?
Let's do the news first. Let's make them wait.
Okay.
Because quite frankly, I think we all agree that Madonna is a slut, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. So she's an aged slut, though. So. Yes, and I am a Christian, so you're welcome. But I'm not a Catholic, so I don't have to speak nice about Madonna.
Wow.
What do you got that's so hot?
Wow.
Come on, what do you got? Oh, please, talking smack about Madonna is so 1980, what is it, 5? 4? 5? Is 5. Is when she started ripping off other people's songs. Any day now, which is not a song she's ripped off, but it's not for lack of trying.
He says any day now, but yet he's still continues talking. See? Alright. So I don't know if we have already covered this because we were gone for a while, then we came back, and then we were gone for like a week or something. So, anyways,
yes.
DC has found its Feige as James Gunn has taken over the whole
shebang.
Yes,
I think that's
the whole
shebang.
His first day on the job actually was him coming in and basically saying the lines from Superman comic book when he got his job at Daily Planet. Which was pretty
Where's the bathroom?
It's not what he says in the comic book.
No, what does he say in the comic book? Come on, spit it out. What's it say?
I
They've only been publishing Superman comic books for, what, 80, 90 years now? We have to be a little bit more
It just
specific
shows
than
that he's nerdy, that he's enjoying this.
Truth, justice, and the American way. I'm all about the American way. If DC does not let Superman say American way, I'm going to change the name of the Tour of Duty to American Way. It'll be one of about 2 million podcasts, and you'll never see me again. Ha ha. Yeah. So, what else you got?
I dare you to change it to just put America in the thing. You'll get more views, but half of those views will be from white supremacists.
I don't think white supremacists are what you think they are. I've seen a lot of racists around lately, but they've all been wearing paisley pillowcases, not white.
Paisley.
Stacey Abrams, among others. But that's political. That's not here. This is pop culture.
Right,
I stick to
right,
pop culture
right.
stuff.
Okay.
Because there are some people who just don't want to hear about all the racists in their midst. Just like Sigourney Weaver. Gorillas in the midst. Anyway. So James Gunn is in charge of DC. Yeah.
Yes.
DC movies, anyway.
Yes.
Which means Walter Hamada. Make sure the Fortress of Solitude door doesn't run you over on your way out.
Good. That's true. But I mean, James Gunn, I believe that he can take over this whole mantle. I mean, the things that he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad 2, or the reboot, whatever it is. But
I call it Suicide Squad 2. Yeah. I think the first one was called The Suicide Squad, and the second one was just called Suicide Squad.
Plus, not to mention, we're getting the Christmas special from Guardians of the Galaxy that, have you seen the trailer for? You got to watch the trailer because it's really hilarious. Because the trailer sets up with, like, Star-Lord being upset that Gamora is, like, dead and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, Drax and Mantis has this great idea to cheer him up by going to Earth and kidnapping Kevin Bacon.
Everything's better with bacon. No.
I think that's great. But
Anyway.
Alright. Disney Plus has a cartoon series coming out based off of Night of the Museum, which will be coming out this December. You're shaking your head no. This is taking me back to like the little cartoons that I grew up with as a kid. You know, the fact that, you know, you got a museum that comes alive at night and, you know, all kinds of crazy adventures.
Didn't they already do that cartoon? They called it The Librarians, right?
That's not a cartoon. The Librarians.
Oh
was a
boy, you haven't
live-action
seen The
show.
Librarians.
The Librarians.
Those things like a cartoon.
Okay, look. The Librarians was actually a really good show. It was a really good show.
I'm trying to work my way through it. I got as far as Bruce Campbell being Santa, and I haven't really been back to it yet. But
The movies are okay, but the TV series, I liked them. I got hooked.
that's good. So,
But anyway, yeah, that. Well, get ready to rub your nose on this one. Alright, ready? The Italian police seized cocaine of 120 grams on 2 crew members of the Equalizer 3 set.
now, the Equalizer, you're talking about the movies, the ones with
Yes.
Denzel Washington,
Yes.
not the TV show nobody watches with Queen Latifah, right?
Yes. I forgot about that one. Yes.
Seems like Denzel's been stepping up his consumption here quite a bit then, huh?
I mean, they said crew members, which means people that, you know, are not in front of the camera.
He's got a PGA after his name, you know he does.
And this is Italian, so it's not like they did this
If I was,
movie in
if I was in,
Chicago.
if I was in Italy, I would need at least 120 grams, dude. 120 grams you're distributing, for the record. So, you are a pusher. So, 2 of them, even at 60 grams a piece, that's still pushing. So they're not doing that by themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably cutting it with fentanyl or something. Or it is Italy, they're probably cutting it with oregano.
Oregano.
Probably dried oregano too, not the good stuff.
Alright.
A nice tomato sauce with some basil to it and some fresh oregano and a little freshly shredded parm on top. Yeah.
You okay?
I know I just ate, but don't get me started on freshly made pasta with a good sauce. Now, what were you saying?
Moving on. Well, actually, speaking
Am I
of
talking
food,
to the
actually,
camera or am I talking to the squirrel mask? I don't understand. Earl the Squirrel is a thing. Earl the Squirrel at Universal Studios, turns out that about a decade ago, I don't know if you've heard of Earl the Squirrel.
No.
About a decade ago, Universal Studios, they're trying to put up this big, huge Christmas tree with like programmable lights. And for some reason they couldn't get I think it was the blues wouldn't work. And they found that the feed that controlled the blue lights in this huge Christmas tree had been gnawed on. So they blamed a squirrel, called him Earl. And after that, every year Universal would throw up the tree and they would put a little drawing of Earl the Squirrel somewhere in the tree to show that he's been there and but he hasn't been gnawing on anything. So now they apparently became a huge thing on the Universal Studios tour, Ask for Babs, and where people are looking for Earl the Squirrel somewhere in the giant Christmas tree. So now they're doing Earl the Squirrel merchandise this year because, quite frankly, nothing else at Universal is selling. So, so yeah, Earl the Squirrel is probably drawing. It's going to make Universal more money than their next 3 movie releases, most likely. Now, What were you talking about? I know it wasn't anything as important as Earl the Squirrel.
Yeah, well,
We've lost track. I'm going to be talking to a squirrel all for your off game. Hi, squirrel.
So with Black Panther coming out next weekend, guess what?
Riots in the street?
No.
Not yet. Spoilers.
No. Happy Meals now have toys from the movie. McDonald's Happy Meals.
Are they handing out little
Black
packets of
Panther
My
toys.
Doll to go with all the female characters in the show? Namor could probably use a My Doll. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. He's called Namor. Okay, all right, first off, I'm going to say, I know why they called him Namor instead of Namor. They're not calling him the Submariner either. They're calling him Namor, not because he's supposed to be Aztec, I think is supposed to be in the movie. It's because Universal owns the rights to Namor the Submariner, and this way Disney doesn't have to cut them in for any of that sweet, sweet profit they think they're going to make off of this film. Listen, and I've been hearing one piece of fluff on video after another. Okay, first off, this has nothing to do with the Submariner. It has nothing to do with Atlantis. Strikes 1 and 2. Okay, now, strike 3 is where you idiots in the media, and it's not just this production. It's not just Black Panther 2. It's not just Disney. It's not just the film industry. Television does it too. Radio does it too. Politicians do it too. They all do it. Whenever they say anything remotely Hispanic, Latino, or Latina, there's no such thing as Latinx. Anything, they all, every one of them, and this is something that just drives me out of my gourd, they all sound like Speedy Gonzales on crack. Because it's not Latino, it's Latino. Okay? It's not Hispanic, it's Hispanic. He's not Namor, he's Namor. Shut up! You don't even like Speedy Gonzales. What are you talking about? Only Mexicans like Speedy Gonzales. No. I like Speedy Gonzales too, but not the ones with the Daffy Duck in it.
You always make me forget what it is I'm even trying to talk about.
I do try. Go ahead. Go ahead, try again. Try. Just try anything. Try me.
We'll go with something else.
No,
Oh, okay.
because I remember
Here's something.
Speedy's cousin, Slowpoke Rodriguez, he has a gun. He's quick on it too.
If you're keeping up with any of this, good for you.
If you're keeping up with any of this, please message me and let me know what in the world I'm talking about. See, I don't know.
Alright, I got some good news.
Yay,
Well,
good
it's not. It's like, well, I mean, it's good news, but it's like info. Some info. So, some info on the Ghostbusters 4 movie. Apparently, Ernie Hudson, who plays Winston, said that he is going to be in the next movie, and the idea of it is to train new Busters, and that's what the 4th film is going to be about. There is no word if anybody from the afterlife is going to be in the 4th film, but where the afterlife, how it ended with Winston bringing the car back and, you know, opening up and stuff like that, the firehouse that they lived in, means that he's going to make Ghost Corps, pretty much.
Yeah, this is an idea I had years ago about, and I'm not going to claim any credit, but I had this idea years ago to resurrect Ghostbusters. This is actually back before 2016. I said, franchise it. You would open up Ghostbusters franchises just like they open up Dairy Queens all over the place. You would have a Ghostbusters franchise in each state. And it'd almost be like, well, the Avengers wound up taking off that in Marvel Comics. They did the each state had its own Avengers team, and boy, that sucked. Ah. But I always figured, I guess franchise less like Dairy Queen and more like probably like Major League Baseball or something, where each large city would have its own Ghostbusters. And so that kind of sounds like not Ghost Corpse, by the way, Ghost Corps.
Ghost Corps. Sorry.
I love this boy. I do.
Sorry.
I really do.
Sorry.
But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun idea. I wish them all the best, but oh boy, there are so many ways this could go wrong. Is Jason Reitman still attached?
He is still doing it.
Then this one should be okay. Let's see how this turns out. We'll give it a chance.
Plus, not to mention, more Winston.
Yeah. It's not like they're going to be able to get Egon back anytime soon.
Oh.
Boy, I just...
But
that's a screeching halt.
It's like kicking something.
They're not going to be able to get Bill Murray back, you know. He's too cantankerous, and he's supplying way too many Italian filmmakers to worry about doing Ghostbusters 4. Although I do like the way you call it Ghostbusters 4 and just glossed right over that 2016 movie.
Everybody
glosses over 2016 movie.
That does not exist.
What else you got? We're 20 minutes in. We still got to do the weird review. So
Henry Cavill will be back as Superman. He said it himself. It is happening. It is Man of Steel 2 or whatever they're going to call it, but it is happening.
Now, I've been hearing a lot about how The Rock and his ex-wife / current manager, there's an amicable divorce. He fought for 6 years to get Cavill back as Superman just to make a cameo in Black Adam. And he had to wait for every single DC Films executive get their heads blown off before he was able to do it.
Listen, I mean, the way I feel about Superman is like, but I will say Henry Cavill is excellent as Superman. That's how I mean, personally, I feel that I don't know, he just brings a great presence to this character, and not to mention seeing him in other movies, he's a nerd. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. He builds his own little miniature things for board games and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are all good signs, but never forget, Kevin Smith did the same things. You know how that turned out? Say no more.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
sure.
Like I said, Cavill's already said truth, justice, and the American way, so I think we're going to get back to a more optimistic, old school Superman, I'm hoping. Because everybody used to laugh about how dorky and all-American Superman was. Well, for one thing, that is something extremely missing from the current market. And two, Superman back in the day, in Action Comics #1, he was just a little bit of a socialist so-and-so. It wasn't until the 50s and he started tasting some of that sweet television money and merchandising deals that he turned capitalist. But that's what happened to you, a couple of hungry kids from Cleveland.
I'm excited about it because I want to see more. And apparently he also did say that he's going to be in at least 4 more future DC films. So
yeah, I'd imagine, because he's Superman, he needs to get Man of Steel 2 up and out the door, and then start making appearances everywhere, so he can start lifting up the other boats and start building franchises again. Which is exactly what Ben Affleck has been doing with Batman. He shows up as Batman, he makes everything better.
Yeah.
I mean,
keep one Batman.
I mean, you have Henry Cavill, you have Ben Affleck, you have Kevin Bacon. They make everything better. So,
Sure.
Well, Ben Affleck, as long as he's got the pointy ears on, I'm not such a fan
listen,
of the rest
DC, I'm holding hope for you guys because of your decisions of James Gunn, bringing back Henry Cavill, and all that. But I will say, don't make what was her name in Black Adam and Suicide Squad? What was her name?
You got me. That chick from Suicide Squad and
The evil
Black
Oprah
Adam.
Winfrey.
Oh yeah, Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
She is.
Listen.
Amanda Waller has been done to death.
I just don't understand. That's one thing that really bothered me in Black Adam was the fact that she just like and it's like, okay, wait. You have no powers. You're nobody. The only reason why you can control Suicide Squad is because you put bombs in the back of their neck. These are superheroes. What do you have anything to do or boss them around whatsoever? Like, it just like, go away. Look, like the, ooh, it just, ooh.
Hold on. You're about to see. Now, we've talked at length about DC and Marvel, and every time I do this, it cuts our viewership in half.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
DC. Marvel is supposed to be the grittier kind of superhero thing. DC has always been more of the optimistic thing. Marvel is knee deep in their nitty gritty little social justice shtick, and it's just over and over. The diversity, the inclusivity, the equity, that's all Marvel. They can own it. DC, if they are truly going in the opposite direction as they seem to be going with the Gunn hire, the Cavill, the Affleck and everything, Amanda Waller will be your arch villain. Okay? Forget about Darkseid, forget about the Joker. Amanda Waller is going to represent the swamp in DC that the superheroes have to fight but they can never beat. She is going to be the one with her little tentacles and everything, holding the heroes back from doing what they need to get done, which could lead to Justice League 2, which is where they finally just jettison her out the watchtower or something and into the sun, and then the doors come off at DC. I don't know. I'm just saying. Amanda Waller has the potential to be that irritating little, in wrestling they call them a heel, a little chicken crap heel. She's the one who's constantly there holding everybody back, making things worse, and throwing obstacles in the ways of our heroes just because she can, or because she fears their power threatens her power, or some crap. Whatever. There could be a chance to make a fantastically well thought out statement here. Can James Gunn make that statement? We'll see.
I mean, if that's how they do it, that's fine. I'm for that. It's just if this is how it's going to go, and they don't go that route, then I want to be pretty mad. Just all right. Some other good news. I do not know if it is up and running yet, but Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd has been teasing people on Twitter about, saying things like the future looks bright, and certain things which makes people go, wait, is there another Back to the Future movie coming out? Like, what's going on here? Actually, no. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd has teamed up to start a web store for the Back to the Future fans. I, for one, is excited about this. Second, you bet your butt I am going to find this website and I am going to get on there and I might buy some stuff. just saying.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Michael, no, I'm not yawning over that. I'm yawning because I'm tired. Michael J. Fox, bless his heart, he's not up to doing any filming or anything, but I'm glad to see he's staying involved. And Christopher Lloyd, Lord, I don't even know what age Christopher Lloyd is right now, but I doubt he's up to anything physical. He's in his 70s,
I know
his 80s.
I know he's not done completely because the movie Spirit Halloween he's in. So
But I am glad to see they're both active, getting involved in things, getting out there, and keeping with the fans, because the fans,
Like
let's
the
face it,
Ghostbusters fans,
yeah,
you
they're
know,
like
it's just
Ghostbusters fans. Let's face it, Back to the Future 2 was kind of a waste of film. 3 kind of redeemed the franchise. It was a fun thing. People look back fondly on it. So I'm glad to see they're making money and they're not getting chased off by the studio yet.
Sure. So I'm excited about it. I don't know what the website's called though. I couldn't find it. But
Great job marketing there, guys.
it is. I guess
It's probably
just
still
like a
under
little teaser,
construction.
yeah,
Probably
but
still
like-
under construction.
But anyway, next news, last news.
Yay! That's the bestest news.
The director of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which apparently, even though I guess the movie is not actually out yet, but apparently they're already talking about a sequel to it. And the director is also doing a Peter Pan horror movie called Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare.
Peter Pan would make a fantastic horror movie.
If you had
I don't know if this idiot I've seen the Blood and Honey Pooh.
Oh, you have? You watched it?
Good grief.
Is it like low budget?
It's like a low budget Five Nights at Freddy's is what it looks like. And I don't know why in the world he has like he has a brow, okay? He's got like 8 furrows in his brow, like he's on the Mimi or something, where he's sitting there sipping the martini or something like those. Ugh. Peter Pan can make an excellent horror movie. He can make an excellent suspense movie. Because think about it, you got all these boys who have never grown up. Why haven't they grown up? Everybody grows up, right? Unless you're dead, then you're always a kid, right? Peter Pan is the oldest one of the bunch. He's the largest one of the bunch. He looks like he's in his 20s in most of these things. He's described as being bigger than all the other boys and stuff. You've got all these other characters. You've got Wendy is being kidnapped into Neverland, and all this stuff's going on. I mean, talk about shades of Don't Fear the Reaper. I mean, look at it this way. Take everything you know about Peter Pan. Now, what if Captain Hook is the hero?
I was just about to say there's a fan theory that Captain Hook is actually the hero.
And he's trying to save these boys' souls from Peter Pan. And now he's gone and he's kidnapped another one. But this one's a girl, and holy crap, Tinkerbell. What about Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell I always thought was really evil because she gets jealous and she plays with Wendy in an evil way, you know? Like,
Peter Pan the incubus and Tinkerbell the succubus. There's an idea for you. But let's see what Frou-Frou does with you.
Yeah, but I kind of wish he had a bigger budget to do this on, because imagine the world and just having like all the effects to just make it wild and crazy.
Okay, now the last episode of Back Rack Video we did was about what? Do you remember? 2 weeks ago? I did it. I pitched in.
I know.
About film noir. What separated film noir from all other film back in the day, like in the 40s and stuff? What was the big difference between them?
Not having the budget to. Yeah.
You don't need the budget to get the good atmosphere, okay? Look at Five Nights at Freddy's, okay? Five Nights at Freddy's, correct me if I'm wrong, the very first game was done by one dude, right?
I think so.
He may have had some friends help him out with programming and stuff, but one dude did Five Nights at Freddy's and launched an entire empire on the backs of that. You can do intense psychological, I'm just going to say trauma, on a very low budget. It's very possible to do. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's, Blair Witch Project. That was made with a couple of throwaway camcorders, for crying out loud. Okay? You don't need a budget to make a good film. You need a good story to make a good film. You need a good story to make a good book. You need a good story to make a good painting. You need a good story to make a good song. It's all about it's the story, stupid. Don't worry about the representation. Don't worry about your special effects budget. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the tricks. Don't worry about the merchandising. All this other stuff. Tell a great story first, like Back to the Future. Everything else will take care of itself.
I feel stupid now.
No, don't feel stupid.
No, I feel stupid because that's exactly everything that I believe in. And I'm literally sitting here going like, more budget, more of this, and not just sounding just like all the other people in Hollywood that runs behind it.
And who loves you so much that he brought you back to reality?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. You know Spider-Man back there loves you. He's watching right over your shoulder. And who is that? Is that... Yeah, I think that's Deadpool right next to him. It's a blue mohawk. Who in the world Deadpool have a blue mohawk? What is that thing? Anyway, it's in there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's the... Yeah.
Oh no, I'm looking at the squirrel mask. What do I know? So that's all the newsy stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do the review. This is it. The big 36 minutes in, we're finally getting to a review of Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Now understand, this is a true story. Okay? This is unabridged, unabashed, 100% true. And I mean, they cover all the controversial parts about the Al Yankovic story. From his freebasing of accordion dust to the overthrow of Pablo Escobar, to Rainn Wilson's 3 Dr. Demento show a day habit, and all this other stuff. 100% true, right on down to his assassination on live international television at the 1985 Grammy Awards. But it's still one of the most hilarious films of the year. This is a throwback, honestly, to the old school satirical type of things. You see Alfred E. Newman in this movie on several occasions. You'll just see his picture up on the wall somewhere. That gives you a good idea of where Weird Al comes from. They both draw from that same pool. The problem is that pool is kind of stagnant and shallow. Okay, there's a reason they don't publish Mad Magazine anymore. Okay, you can only reach that well so many times. There's a reason Weird Al really hasn't had a hit in a while. You can only go back to the pool so many times. This movie, for what it is, I mean, it's a straight up send up of self-important biopics, and I absolutely adore it for that. Okay, I've been a Weird Al fan since I first heard Eat It back in 1983. Absolutely love the guy, and all the respect in the world for him. So I've been a Weird Al fan for 40 plus years. The biggest disappointment I've had in the past couple of years was Weird Al actually played the Lexington Opera House. I think it was in 2021, and I think they wound up having to either cancel it or shut it way down or something because of the coof. But I wasn't able to go. But like I said, the problem is that there's this idea that satire has to make fun of everything and take nothing seriously, but you have to keep the straight face. You can make it as ridiculous as you want, but as long as you keep the straight face, it's satire. And that's not true. That's the Naked Gun. Okay, that was Leslie Nielsen's shtick in Police Squad. Keep the straight face, don't react to anything, and just goofball moment after goofball moment. It has its place and it has its time. They do make some good points in Weird, the Al Yankovic story. And the problem is you kind of have to be receptive to it. If you have, like me, if you have heavy exposure to the Dr. Demento show, which means you have heavy exposure to novelty records, the Nervous Norvus reference popped me. If you've liked Mad Magazine and you remember all the MASH send-ups they had to do over the years just because it was on for 5 times longer than the Korean War, which was a satire in and of itself. If you remember all these things, this movie will appeal to you. So I'm just going to wrap it. I'm not going to get too heavy into this. I would recommend you give it a try because, hey, it's free. It's free, it's streaming, it's out there. All you got to do is get the Roku channel some way. If you have a Roku streaming device, it's there, whether you like it or not. If you have most streaming devices, you can get the Roku channel. Download the Roku channel and you can watch it for free. You don't even have to register for an account or anything. So there's no sense in not watching it. If you're a fan of Weird Al, like I am, you'll give this thing 4 out of 5. Okay, so it's worth the time to install it and seek it out. I know I had my 1 to 5s here somewhere, but I don't know where in the world. But man, either way. So there it is. So I think for streaming, 4 was worth the subscription. Okay. If you're not a Weird Al fan, you're going to give it a 2. Watch it on Pluto with ads. Okay. So if you are a Weird Al fan, you should seek this out. Absolutely. If you're not, you've got nothing better to do, or you really don't want to see Black Panther 2, check it out. You may get a few laughs out of it. I enjoyed it, but I can see where people wouldn't, because like I said, there's a reason Mad Magazine went out of business. So that's my review. I give it 4 out of 5. It averages out to a 3.
Awesome.
You gonna try this now, Chris? Or, I don't even know. You stream on gaming devices, don't you? Off of Xbox or?
Yeah. It's there though.
Okay.
I've seen the advertisements.
No, you should check it out and see what you think.
I know Roku changed their entire background just for the Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too. But,
yeah, I was planning on watching that. I just didn't know when. And honestly, I couldn't remember where it was on at.
I think you'll like it because it is full of 80s references. It might be a little early for you. Like I said, they really do make Madonna the heavy of the show. She is the villain of the show. And I'm sure Madonna's just eating it up because she's like 70 years old, dried up like an old cobweb, and just like, somebody's paying attention to me.
You gotta remember, okay, I liked Madonna, the 80s Madonna. And not to mention, I was probably like the only one that watched her in Dick Tracy, watched her in that one where she, Material Girl, I think.
Who's that girl?
Who's that girl? Yes. So.
So you're the one. Yeah, I remember you being the one.
Yeah, I was the one.
No. So, you got anything else to throw out there? We are now 45 minutes into this. You got nothing else? I got nothing else. So make sure, like I said, we've got a busy week. We still have an episode of Backrack Video that's coming out on
Special Effects.
The history of special effects in 20 minutes with Chris in there. We've got finally have another episode of The Tour of Duty coming out about Kentucky's Constitutional Amendment number 1. There's a laugh a minute. And then this Saturday at 3:45 at our YouTube channel at Who What Where, and over on Chris's Facebook Movie Geek outfit, we will be live streaming Aftermath 2 on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Did I get everything? Because I know I'd take a deep breath after that.
I think so.
It is an eventful week. But
yes.
So until next time, y'all keep weird, and well, I guess he's Chris, and
yes.
and I'm Spike. He's Spike, and we'll keep geeking out for you. Bye.